people? All right, welcome to stretch class. We are going to be starting off right away here. Got a lot of work to get through. This is going to be upper body focus today. So we're going to start off with some cars. We're going to start off quadruped position, aka on all fours, and we're going to start off with a neck car. So I want us to do this with a scapular depression. So try to, like a turtle, elongate your neck, pull your shoulders back. Neck car, we're going to retract the chin and start slowly tucking it down. Breathe. Glide the chin across left clavicle as far as we can. Try to keep contact, chin on the chest. Try to keep retracting that chin. As far across as you can go. Get it over that shoulder. Once you can't go any further, tilt the ear back. Now we're going to rainbow across to the other side. My chin is going to land on my right shoulder with my ear trying to touch my upper back. Chin lands down. I glide it back down the clavicle to the center. One more lap in that direction. Nice and slow. Increase the amount of tension. So squeeze your neck into the position a little bit tighter. Don't create any closing angle joint pain. Push your limbs down into the floor. Retract and depress your shoulders a little bit more. Chin's going to land down on the right shoulder. And glide back down the clavicle to the center. Let's reverse. Keep that chin tucked. Glide across the right clavicle till it goes over that right shoulder. Tilt the ear back. And form a rainbow across to the other side. Remember, no closing angle pain. Only open angle stretch. If you do have closing angle pain, don't be afraid to decrease your current range of motion. One more lap here. Good. That's 2 neck cars, 1 in each direction. Now we're going to do scapular cars. So we're making 1 joint down the chain here. All right. Remember, our scapula can go retract, protract, or elevate, depress. During this, I want you to avoid doing cat-cow. That's a spinal movement. Let's focus on the scapula moving without our spine moving so much. So let's start in elevation, protraction, retraction, depression, retraction, elevation. Let's make it a little smoother of a circle, still very focused, still a lot of tension, squeezing muscles to help push and pull us into the positions we are trying to gain control over. Focus on keeping those elbows straight. Good. Let's reverse. Retract. Depress. Protract. Elevate. Retract. Depress. Protract. Elevate. And depress. Good. All right. I'm going to grab a tennis ball. All right, the tennis balls are used a lot in Kinstretch to help us learn to irradiate or tense up a lot of muscles to help target the muscle tissue. So I'm going to be squeezing this ball to about 50% of my maximal effort during this warm-up. You can squeeze a ball or a towel or just make a fist, but I also want you to notice the ball during this because it's going to help show you which way my shoulders rotated. All right, so a true shoulder carve, I'm going to start with my left arm out in front of us, ball faces the ceiling. From here, I'm going to lift. Elbows stay straight. How high can I get it without rotating? About there. And then I'll start to internally rotate that shoulder so the ball starts to move outward, facing the camera. Reaching up high. Keep allowing the spin. Think about wringing out a sponge. Try to keep pulling the arm back over your back. I got about 50% tension I'm working with here. I come down, pinky touches the ground. That's half a rep. Let's go back up. I want the ball to keep facing the camera for as long as possible. Can't go any further. I'm going to externally rotate my arm. Keep it trying to keep it horizontally abducted. Keep spinning it externally. And slowly lower down. All right. This is my limited range arm as compared to my right arm. I'm going to do one more set on this, and then we'll view the right arm to see how different my range of motion is. So it is okay to have differences on side to side. We're just going to constantly work to even out those differences. It is very difficult to be completely balanced. It's also probably not totally necessary, but we want to be as close as possible. Good. It's 2 full shoulder carves from the quadruped position on the left arm. Let's go right arm now. Palm faces the ceiling. Right arm is out in front of me. So a lift. I can definitely get a little bit higher into flexion. As I can't go any further, I'll start to internally rotate that shoulder. Reaching up towards the sky. Keep spinning. Keep spinning. Keep reaching back over my back. And control and come down. Ball faces the camera. Up high, up high, up high. Try not to spin. Try not to rotate until I must. Oh, that felt good. That was a good one. One more. Here we go. Feeling that shoulder work, stretch in various parts, activate a lot in various parts. Good. Whew. This arm stuff is kind of tough for me today. Yesterday I did a hypertrophy program for my arms, so everything's feeling very tight. And so doing this mobility work today is probably a pretty good idea to help move it in a fuller range of motion, whereas some of my hypertrophy work tends to train smaller ranges of motion. All right, now let's go into the elbow joint. So the elbow joint, it can be supinated, right, or ball facing upward, or it can be pronated, ball facing downward. Ball facing upward, supinated, ball facing downward, pronated. It can be extended, or it can be flexed. All right. From here, I'm going to set my shoulder in a horizontally abducted position, and I'm going to work my elbows while my shoulders stabilize this position. Okay. So let's start supinated. I'm trying to keep the ball facing the ceiling and slowly flex those elbows. Notice my left arm shaking a little bit. Again, that's my weak side, working on some shoulder stuff, bicep stuff. Completely normal, okay. Well, not normal, it's okay in this situation. Eventually it won't be shaking. I squeeze while in supination as much as I can and slowly flip to pronation while squeezing flexion. Once I go as far as I can pronate, I start extending. Lock out. Supinate. Flex. You should not be feeling this in your traps at all. Your traps are those muscles around your neck that really big dudes pop out. Spin to pronation. Extend, squeezing the ball tightly. About 50% irradiation. Supinate. Flip back to pronation. We're going to reverse our car here. Feeling that elbow joint work. Squeeze. Flip into supination. Reverse bicep curl. Fully extend. Pronate. Flex. Supinate. Extend. Good. Woo! All right, that's elbow joint. Good. We're going to set up into sideline position. And we're going to get into what's called a sleeper stretch. So you need a pillow for your head, one or two. I'm going to lie this nice little towel down because there's some kind of pandemic going on right now. And all right, here. When I'm sideline, I want to make sure that my shoulder blade really is packed down. So this would again be kind of the turtle analogy. I want my neck to stick far out of my shell or my shoulder. I don't want to be hunched up like this, all right? Elongate that neck. Also, when you're lying here, angles matter, okay? So we have 90 degrees at the armpit. So from my nipple to the bottom of my arm, 90 degrees, all right? 90 degrees at the elbow. And my hand is not pronated towards the camera, and it's not supinated towards me. It's about midway, all right? In order for me to get good stabilization, I'm going to bend those knees, and I may even kick my my feet out in front of me. Make sure you find a good setup. It's an important part of the sleeper stretch. I'm going to grab a ball real quick, just so you guys can, again, kind of see my orientation. From here, we're going to go into a passive stretch, all right? So passive stretch is going to be searching for a stretch behind my shoulder, kind of up into my triceps. And I'm going to do that by using my right hand to slowly internally rotate my left arm. All right. I'm starting to feel the stretch here. I want to make sure I don't roll my chest backwards, so I'm actually rolling forward over that left arm. I want to make sure my arm doesn't unbend, so I'm actually bending my arm just a little bit, and I'm fixing the angle of pronation, supination I have. So finding a stretch is a skill, and it's something you have to be completely aware of while you're stretching. You just can't go into a stretch and forget about it. Now, the important part is breathing during this passive stretch. I want you to try nice, slow inhales and even slower exhales. And with every exhale, we should be able to get a little bit deeper into this stretch. Do not create any pain. You can notice I'm just shifting my body ever so slightly every so often to keep finding the stretch that I want in the tissue I want. Your body's going to look for ways out of this. You have to keep thinking about it. Keep finding it. We got about another 20 seconds here, then we're going to start our PALS contraction. PALS contraction is going to be activation of the stretched tissue, the tissue behind my shoulder that I'm stretching out right now. In order to activate that, I'm going to press my arm, my left arm, back up into my right hand. Let's do that very slowly. Ready? Go. Just press it up. Don't let anything move. It's an isometric contraction. Now start ramping up the amount of pressure your left arm's putting into that right hand. Be very focused about what tissue you are activating. You should feel this in the exact spot that you are stretching. Keep ramping up the amount of pressure that you're using to press into that right arm to your safest, greatest pressure for today. Sustain that for about another 20 seconds, and then we're going to go into our rails contraction. Rails contraction is the exact opposite contraction. I'm going to try to pull my arm off of my right hand. So I'm going to try to pull my left arm off of my right hand, but in a rotational direction so that the arm goes closer to the floor. Do that in 3, 2, 1, go. So the way I'm doing that is by trying to rotate this more that way. This hand is going down towards the ground. I'm squeezing musculature in kind of the chest and front part of the shoulder blade area. Being precise with what musculature I'm activating. Keep breathing, keep fighting for more. I want to reset that shoulder. It's moved a little bit. Breathing, holding it there. Keep squeezing, keep ramping up pressure. You might feel a little cramping going on, kind of in here, chest area. In 5 seconds, we're going to pace the hand back and go into a passive stretch. 3, 2, 1, go. Go back into your passive stretch. So if you did that correctly, you maybe got a millimeter more range of motion out of that, which I feel like I certainly did. And the intensity of the stretch at various points along the way is a little less intense. So we're going to stick to just one set of PALS rails in this position today. And we're going to come out of this. And we are going to immediately go into a passive range liftoff for internal rotation. Excuse me. And slowly come out of that. Whew. All right. So to set up some kind of active move, it's not really going to be a passive range liftoff for internal rotation. With limited equipment, it's difficult to do that. So we're going to do a passive range liftoff for external rotation on that side. All right, just to kind of work those rotator cuff muscles in a active way at end range. All right, so head is down on this mat. My elbow is at 90 degrees. My shoulder or armpit is at 90 degrees. I'm going to try to pinch my shoulder blade back and stabilize it there. Other hand and rest of the body is pressing into the ground. I'm going to pivot from my elbow. Ooh, this is difficult for me. I'm going to pivot from my elbow and try to lift my arm off the ground. You know what? I'm going to need a little extra help. So I'm going to raise my elbow here off the ground. All right. If it's too hard for you, just raise your elbow up a little bit. So from here, deep breath in, squeeze, rotate, 3, 2, 1. Back down. Whew, this is intense for me on this side. Just a little bit. Here we go. Let's do 5. Deep breath in. And try to lift that hand, pivot from the shoulder or from the elbow. 5, 4, 3, 2, 2. There we go. That was a little bit better for me. Just had to encourage. Shoulder blade pinch back, drive the elbow down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 3. Ooh. 2 more. Shoulder blade back, drive the elbow down. 3, 2, 4. Oh, the last one. Shoulder blade back, drive the elbow down and lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 5. Woo! All right. So that's quite intense for me. I got some stuff I'm working on in my shoulder. Let's look at the other side. Sleeper stretch. And we'll see if I have a little bit more range of motion. And this is all stuff I bring up to you guys because this is what you should be thinking on your body as you go through these motions. Is something harder or easier, etc. You want to start to know your body front to back. All right, let's get set up in the sleeper stretch. We're here, shoulders packed down. We got our pillow, 90 degrees at the armpit, 90 degrees at the elbow. We have a rounded lumbar spine. Our feet are out in front of us. And let me set my timer. We're slowly going to start to internally rotate. Do it slowly. Allow your body time to sink into the position. That's what a passive stretch is all about. We'll hold here for about 2 minutes. Make sure you're constantly checking the elbow and shoulder angles. Make sure you're feeling it in the right spots. Breathe. I feel my shoulder creeping up a little bit. I'm going to try to extend my neck a little bit more. Allow the weight of your left hand to push down on that right arm. We got about a minute left in this passive stretch. After the passive stretch, we have our pals contraction. Remember, the pals contraction is my right arm pressing up into my left arm. No movement occurs. Our rails contraction is trying to internally rotate our right arm more by actively contracting our internal rotators. All right, here we go. We're going to start our pals contraction very lightly, very softly. And remember, it's activation of the stretch tissue. Ready? And activate slowly. Feeling that tissue contract, press up into the right arm. Slowly start ramping up the amount of pressure you're producing with that right arm. Ramp up to your safest, greatest pressure for today. Squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, and rails. Internally rotate. So I'm trying to rotate the femur more towards my hips, trying to get my palm down to the floor. This is an isometric contraction. The arm's not going to move very far if you were at true end range. Try to be specific with the tissue that you're targeting. You can have this hand here to have something to pull off of to rotate more. Try not to slide this elbow down. Mine moved a little bit, so keep thinking, rotate that femur, rotate, not femur, rotate that humerus, rotate that humerus. 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Give it a little bit more passive stretch here. Breathe and hold that here. In about 10 seconds, we'll come out of this and we'll go into our passive range lift off or external rotation again, just on this side. Let's slowly come out. Bring that arm all the way back. Good. All right. So I noticed on my sleeper stretch, I actually had much less range of motion for internal rotation as I did on my left arm. All right. So now I'm going to try this passive range lift off and see what kind of external rotation, control, and sensation I have here. All right. So I'm going to pinch that shoulder blade back again. Pivot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly down. Let me see what this looks like without that. Pinching the shoulder blade back, pivot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 2. Good. I actually like it better with this. I can feel more stuff working, so I'm going to use this. All right, pinch that shoulder blade back and lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We got 2 more. Lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 2. Last one. Lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 3. Nice job. So that's passive range lift off or external rotation. And we did that immediately after we did our internal rotation. All right. Now I want to go into a swimmer from the child's pose position. So we're going to kind of work everything that we just worked in kind of a full integrated movement. So what the child's pose position is, it's going to be, you can go big toes together, knees apart, or you can go knees together, whatever you feel more comfortable with. I'm going to go knees apart. I'm going to put my forehead down, and I'm going to use my left hand to kind of push me back into this child's pose position, and I'm going to use my right hand to do the movement with. So I'm holding the ball here so that you guys can see which way my palm is facing. All right. Let me do one by myself and we'll do it together. So I start here, lift, extend the elbow, swivel the true shoulder joint, bend the elbow, touch the back. Lift, extend, swivel up, bend, touch the head. All right, so there's really a few parts to this. We start back here, we lift off. That's a lot of scapular stuff. We extend, that's a lot of elbow stuff. We swivel and switch, that's a lot of true shoulder stuff. We bend the elbow, that's the elbow stuff, and we put back onto the back, that's the scapular stuff. All right, so let's try to be precise with what joints we're moving while we're doing this. And we're going to do 3 down and back counts as 1 on the right arm, and then we'll switch sides. All right, it might be a little bit difficult for you to hear me while my face is in the pad, so just try to go either with me or at your own pace here. All right, enter child's pose. Gonna put my right hand, balls touching the upper back, and lift off. Extend. Swivel, switch, reach up high.
Reach as far back as you can. Bend that elbow. Touch the upper back. Lift. Extend. Keep that arm up as high as you can. Come back to your Y position. Bend. Touch the upper back. Relax the elbow. That's 1. 2 more. Lift. Extend. Swivel. Switch. Bend the elbow. Touch the back. Lift. Extend. Swivel and switch to your Y position. Bend. Touch the back. Elbow touches the ground. We got 1 more, people. Here we go. Lift. Extend. Get that arm and ball up high. Wring out that towel. Bend. Touch the back. Lift. Extend. Wring out that towel back to your Y position. Bend the elbow. Touch.
Good. You can shake out that arm. Now we're going to do left side. All right. Left side is definitely harder for me. So yours might not look exactly like mine. Might be more or less range of motion. That's okay. Just get the basic pattern down. Again, we're going to do 3 down and back counts as 1. And try to stay with me if you can hear me. If not, go at your own pace.
All right. I'm starting. Elbow on the ground, hand in my upper back as close as I can get it to the mid back. Lift off. Extend. Swivel and switch. Bend that elbow. Touch the back. Lift off. Extend. Swivel and switch. Bend the elbow. Touch the back. Lift off. Extend. Swivel and switch. Bend the elbow. Touch the back. Lift off. Extend. Swivel, come up to your Y. Bend. Last one, here we go. Lift off. Extend. Swivel and switch. Bend that elbow, touch the back. Go down. Lift off. Extend. Swivel, switch. Bend that elbow. Touch the head. Woo!
Good. So my shoulder, I get some pain right up in here, especially when I try to pinch my shoulder blade and bend the elbow at the same time, or squeeze my shoulder blade and bend the elbow at the same time. When I'm doing that in certain ranges of motion, I get a lot of pain. So pain. You should not try to push through pain if it's more than a level 1 or 2 when you're doing a motion. But pain is personal. So you have to decide, is it worth it for you to push through it? Does it feel better afterwards? Some days I push through. Some days it feels good to. Some days it doesn't. And you'll recognize those things the more and more that you get in touch with your body. What's good pain? What's bad pain? Today, those were probably a little bit out of my range. I probably should have dialed that back, but show must go on. Good. All right. Good. We got about 10 minutes left here. So I want to get into some seated here swimmers, and we will actually let's do some infinity hovers. I'm going to do this with my back towards you and with 2 balls. So the infinity hover, again, it kind of looks like the swimmer. And I'm going to sit Indian style during this. All right. but sitting's going to make it feel different. So one hand will be up and under, other hand up and over. Let's lift off. Extend. Keeping your hands back behind your body. Swivel, rotate. Bend. Try to touch them together. Lift off. Extend. Swivel, rotate. Bend, touch. That's one. We got 3 total. Lift off. Extend. Swivel, rotate. Bend, touch. Lift off. Extend. Swivel, rotate. Bend, touch. That's 2. Last one here. Lift off. Extend. Swivel, rotate. Bend, touch. Lift off. Extend. Swivel, rotate. Bend, and touch. Whew. Hey. All right. So we're going to go back to our prone position, and we're going to practice a passive range lift off for flexion. And we're going to do it from an internally and pronated arm, internally rotated and pronated arm, and an externally rotated and supinated arm. And you will realize why once we start doing it. There's a major difference between those two. So I'm going to take one pillow or pad and put my forehead on it. My legs are just relaxing straight. And right now my hands are in a wide position, or my arms are in a wide position. I want them more in an I position, so straight out. And I'm here. All right, from here, we want to try to make sure that we're using the true shoulder joint and not our lumbar spine. So I'm going to go into a slight posterior pelvic tilt to help lock my lumbar spine into place. And what that looks like is this. Notice my low back. Right now it's curved out and my butt's kind of sticking up. I'm going to flatten it out. And what I just did is I just brought my ribs down towards my hips, clenched my butt, and skidded my thighs up the mat. I'm going to try to hold that position. And when I lift my arms up off the ground, I should get a sensation in my middle to upper back, kind of in between my traps or shoulder blades, kind of the bottom part of the shoulder blades. The lower trap should be doing a lot here. All right, so let's go back, head down. And on 3, we're just going to lift our arms straight off the ground. 3, 2, 1. Hold it. 3, 2, 1. Good. Again. Lift. 3, 2, 2. If you keep your butt squeezed and your ribs down, you should feel this right between the shoulder blades, lower trap area. 3, 2, 4. 3, 2, 5. I actually think we have one more. Let's do it. 3, 2, and 5. Good. So that was arms kind of internally rotated, palms pronated. Next, we're going to go the opposite. So balls are going to face up, and my shoulders will be externally rotated. And in order to do that, I have to think that I'm going to try to get this part of my arm down towards the floor. And that will hold external rotation. So I'm like that.
And I'm trying my best to get the balls to face the ceiling. All right. They don't quite get up there. That's all right. Just keep trying. And we'll try 5 lift offs here. 3, 2, 1, lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. You may notice this is a lot harder. It may be harder to keep the elbows straight. It may be harder not to use your low back. Take your time with this. Find the position that works for you. Here we go. And lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 2. Keep trying to externally rotate as you lift. Lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 3. Lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 4. One more. Lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 5. Good. Nice work. Ooh, bring those arms in. Let's finish off with some passive range lift-offs from abduction and from horizontal abduction, both internally and externally rotated. So it's the same thing that we just did, except our arms are going to be out to the side, like the letter T. Internal rotation and pronation is going to look like this. External rotation and supination is going to look like that. Let's start here. All right. And lift. This happens to be pretty easy for me. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It'd be my guess that this would be easy for a lot of people. Lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 2. Lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 3. Lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 4. Really squeeze that top position. Lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 5. Good. This is going to be a lot harder for me, especially on my left side. It might be harder for you. Let's find out. Keep external rotation and lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 2. 5, 4, 3, 2, 3. 5, 4, 3, 2, 4. Last one. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 5. Whew. All right, guys. Whew. Shoulders should all be feeling a lot, real good work done. Mid back should be feeling some stuff. Work shoulder blades all around that area. And rotator cuff should be feeling some stuff. So all this stuff should be used to kind of find deficits. And you can see my left arm wasn't as strong as my right arm. And it's been like that for a while, so I'm constantly working on it. But the only way to get it stronger is to keep working on it. A lot of people tend to avoid the stuff that they're bad at. And I always preach you need some of what you love, some of what you need, and some of what you hate. And the stuff that you hate doing is probably the stuff that you need to do more of. All right? So keep coming to stretch class, find your deficits, and I hope you guys have a great week. Thanks for tuning in.